All right, guys, so let me share the stream. I don't think that there will be many people watching, so I'll just start as soon as I'll figure out that the sound is okay. Yeah, the sound is fine. So I'll just share it on Telegram and on Twitter, and we will start. The BTC update is live. All right. And it's running. Okay, so seems like everything is okay. Video is fine, audio is fine. Okay. All right, guys. So if you watch this live, then feel free to leave a comment, ask questions, and whichever you like. If not, then apparently you can leave a comment below the video, and we could chat in the comments. So, first of all, I would have to apologize that I couldn't make a video last week, although I planned to. But the thing is that I was on the quarantine because I got this famous disease, which is spreading widely around the globe right now. And yeah, I got that last week, but now I'm back and we're ready to roll. So, in fact, last week I did some posts on Twitter and on Telegram, so you probably, if you do follow, then you probably know most of the things which I have to tell you today, with some recent updates, but more details, of course, will come. So, first of all, I would like to say that we were right to the great extent, because we expected that this drop is the local low for BTC. Maybe not the ultimate bottom, but the thing is that we already grew quite a lot from there, so it was almost 40%. 40% for BTC, it's a lot of a move. And we discussed why this is the bottom last in the last videos. If you want to look for some more details or some arguments, you can go and check that. But today I would like to discuss what talk about what will happen next, and what are the chances to go higher, and where this rise might stop and we continue to go down or not, and so on and so forth. So first of all, I would like to show you like general picture, overall picture of BTC price action for the recent year or two. And I would have to say that I still continue to follow my previous assumption, my sorry, my thinking about the current situation as the current kind of extended neutral or extended switching period between bull market and a bear market. And there are tons of reasons about that. For that, we discussed a lot of them as well. So the main point is, though, that $62,000 April last year was supposed to be the top of the bull market, and that happened partially because of the fact that we grew too fast and without major corrections. Otherwise, we might continue to go higher, bit slower but higher. And there were other reasons, like being oversold for most of the altcoins, and a lot of pumps, and so on and so forth. So in any case, that was the area of the top of the current so-called bull market cycle. although I don't think that this is applicable anymore to the extent that it was before. In any case, that was the top of the bull market, and we are in a bear market from the last year's April. However, there was this kind of a fake, quote unquote, fake rally, and this rally was above the previous high, so we reached 68, almost $69,000. However, again, we made a new high, although it didn't trigger any panic buys. It didn't trigger any stop losses. There was no liquidity. The volume was going down all that time. So again, it indicates that this growth was not real, but mostly speculative. So what happened next? Next, we covered all that growth, almost all that growth back. So no retracement, no higher highs. This is almost the same area as $30,000. So I would call it like a parallel, no higher high, although it's a little higher. Still, I wouldn't count it as such. And yeah, that is another issue, that also some altcoins, or most of the altcoins, don't perform well. So all the overall market is bearish, and we drop pretty much from it's like 50%, I think. So from 68, almost 69, 50%. And from that point, again, we discussed why they're probably stop around $33,000, $34,000. So we need that. And after that, we expected that we will see some kind of a correction for that decline. And the point is, where we expect that this correction is over. I don't think that this is the end of the bear phase. I don't think that we will see another high anytime soon. So probably 68,000 is the ultimate all-time high for the next maybe years, at least like within a year for sure, in my opinion. Of course, we trade probabilities, so it's not necessarily that it happens, but I think it's more likely scenario. So then, looking at this situation, how do we think that this correction will develop, and where it is over? Well, will it be over? There are several things to point out. First of all, I'll show you the Fibonacci retracement levels. And you can see here that, again, we had the rising channel, we had the descending channel, and recently with this surge in price, we saw the breakout of this descending channel, which is most often they're not happening for descending channel. They are broken to the upside. And after that, we see that kind of a nice rally, as we pointed out. So where is it over? Again, the same thing as with this situation or many others. As soon as we see such a like massive rise without major corrections, the stability of this rise is not so great. So I would prefer to see something like this, and then, well, of course, the scale is just arbitrary, but the point is, if we do see some gradual rise with the retracements, with corrections, that is more stable and more long term. When we see something like this, it usually returns to be like that very soon, much sooner, or more likely to happen than not. And the point is, currently, again, we don't see any major corrections. That is a bad sign for bulls. In any case, regardless of the shape of the like a structure of this rise, there are three key levels. So this level is 23.6 by Fibonacci retracement, and it is below the zone of the high trading volume, some kind of a consolidation area around here. And another area is here, and again, the lowest point, the bottom part of that zone is the level 38.2 by Fibonacci retracement again. And another one, which I would point out, is the Bitcoin's favorite 61.8, again, the bottom of the zone around here. So we already surged above 23.6. I would say that there was a high chance, I would maybe say like 30% chance to see the correction from there. We don't get it, so probably the chances are we will see the correction from there, even with a higher odds. So probably like 60% chance that we do that. And maybe we even don't go to exactly to 38.2. Instead, is it regular? Yeah, it's regular. Instead, we might start the correction from now on, like from that 45,000 and a half. That was the local high. If that doesn't happen and we see the continuation of the rise, then the next point of this 61.8%, so something like 55%, oh, sorry, $55,000, I would say that from here, we definitely should see the correction. When I say definitely, it means like 90% chance that from here will be a correction. And if we don't see some major corrections before that, then probably this correction will be massive and will probably go below that current level. Again, this is just the expectation, and of course not necessarily to happen, but this is how I see the current situation. And again, you see the nice match of the resistance zones here, here, and here, and the Fibonacci retracement levels. So that is pretty well defined here. For the price action which actually occurred already, we saw nice consolidation here with the $39,000 as the resistance area, and we actually collected the liquidity above that and below the previous low as well. So the standard pump and dump or the margin call price action on BTC as we used to see it. And then we saw that final surge, so we broke that area. The more often we tested, the more likely it is broken. So that is exactly what happened. And then again, we are around the resistance. So we're close to that peak, which is $44,000. So we are hovering around that resistance area, trying to break it. So looking at what's happening right now, and also confirming it with some daily indicators behavior. So for example, most of the oscillators are on the very oversold territory and they're actually flipping bearish right now. So I would say that it's very likely that from here we will see the correction, and that would be actually nice. The correction, I would expect the most like organic behavior to the area of, sorry, not here, to this area, to the area of the previous resistance. Now it is support, something like $39,000. And if this occurs, that it would be a potential end of the correction, and then we will go higher from there to 55,000 maybe. But if this level doesn't hold, I think that we have the whole possibility that we are going back to 33 and then below maybe 27 and so on. Of course, it doesn't happen tomorrow. It will not happen tomorrow. It will not happen even within a week or even maybe a month. But there will be a lot of swings back and forth, up and down, and the market will try to deprive you from your savings, to take your money from you. And this is one thing to consider, this level of support. And then another thing is, if we a little bit zoom in, then currently we actually do have small correction. Again, let's look at the Fibonacci retracement. So the first correction was 23.6, and when the trend is strong, usually this is the area where we do see the correction occurs to. So the correction stops here and then we go up. But again, it is good for the short term, but it's not good for the long-term growth. So the more we have such corrections, such tiny corrections, the more likely the next one will be massive and will cover the whole growth. So unstable and not really reliable. Okay, and by the way, if we try to look at the other areas, so this 39,000 is around 50% Fibonacci, but in fact we may go a little bit lower to 61.8, which is the favorite Bitcoin's ratio, and then that would be a nice, again, area of liquidity below the support which many people are looking at. And of course we can't say that it's impossible to go to 78.6. Again, it's below those lows, which again contains a lot of liquidity here. But I guess that if we go there, then it's just a matter of time how long it will take to go back to previous low at $33,000 and break it. So that's the general idea. How to trade it is not so hard. So the thing is, we can open the short position already from the current situation, current market price. The stop order should be above the previous high, but I would say it's better to make maybe like 10%, so maybe 48, something like that. It's a little bit huge stop, but again, it's very easy to break that stop because before the major move, price often goes to the area on the other direction, the opposite direction, and then it goes the proper direction, the long term or the deeper or stronger move. Okay, this is one way. Another way is to try to collect again the area above that high. So we might try to take a short position here again, maybe 10% higher, so above $50,000. This is another option, and I actually like it quite a lot because it's kind of an intermediate one. And the final one, if we don't see many corrections, then $55,000, something like here, like that. We can take a short position here, again, maybe 10% or something, so $59,000 stop, and then enjoy the profit. I would say that it's probably too late to go long because, again, looking at the condition currently, which is pretty oversold, pretty overbought, because we didn't have many corrections here. I would say that it's risky to go long because in any point of time we could see the drop in price, and that would be our correction. So the stop order is very near, and it's easy to be triggered. So, and also, if we consider a long position here, then take into account all what I said before regarding the major trend. So this trend is bearish, right? So we are in descending trend here, and this is just correction. So when we go long during the bearish trend, that is usually dangerous, right? So we are better to look at the opportunities to take short orders. Of course, we can try to go long, but this is pretty risky. Okay, another option for those who don't want to use futures, because this is the only way how you can trade short, then buying spot, you can do it around this area. So if the price goes lower, and this is another reason, so I don't like this low by only one reason, is that here there was no acceleration. So the price didn't go down with higher speed, with a sharp decline. There is like a V-shaped bottom here, but it is same scale as before, so it's not really convincing that it's over. And I would prefer it to be something like this, right? Or, well, I mean, the scale is, of course, not exact, so something like maybe like this. And that is still possible to happen. So if this occurs, if we do see some kind of like consolidation here, maybe drop, and then we see the acceleration, and it stops somewhere, I think it should stop somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000. So maybe around that area we can take a spot position on BTC. Of course, you need to understand that it is possible that instead of a pullback from that area, we may see the continuation of the drop to like $10,000-$15,000 and stay there forever. But this is what we are risking for. And of course, you can still close some of your position and locked some losses there. It depends on your risk tolerance and risk profile. But this is the option for the long position on spot. Okay, and that is pretty much it for the BTC. So I may go through some of the things which I posted starting from our previous stream. And well, I don't think that anything here is important at the current point of time. So this is just the progress, what we had so far, this breaking the resistance and some wedges on the ether, and again the liquidity and the hunting process for the liquidity in the market, and then finally the breakout. This breakout of the channel, also a good sign for the continuation of the growth. This bullish flag was, well, it played out pretty much for the first target, which is like $45,000. And yeah, those are the zones which I just mentioned. We have some weird channel like this, and this channel is still working, although it's so huge and awkward, but you know, somehow it works so far. I don't think that we will go to the upper area though, but you know, it's funny. So many people though, I think, will look at this kind of scenario. So you see that the growth, let's say on ether in the summer of 2020 first, is similar to what we have right now. And in fact, it indeed is kind of promising, but I don't really think that this is like history will repeat itself like that. I think that instead of having such a massive rise, we should have seen some different picture. And also considering that that was still so there was more of a hope and confidence in market at that point of time. Now we had this higher high with no strength and the continuation of the drop. So here the trend is much weaker. And yeah, although we have to say that even by the oscillators, like I pointed out, here we also had a bearish crossover for after like being overbought for a while, but still price went up. So I personally don't think that this repeats. I think that we probably will go lower, but still this is another thing to consider. And there are many altcoins right now which are in the ultra oversold territory, like this Gala, and you see that there are even the divergences, bearish divergences on many indicators. So you see the higher highs on the price and lower highs on the indicator, meaning that it's a pretty nice bearish divergence, actually doubled bearish divergence. Of course, we might see it neglected, but like this is the signal. And there are so many altcoins like that, although there is a chance that they will not play out, but it seems that they are playing in the same way. And we're about to see the correction. And considering the fact that this rise was so strong, again, without the corrections before, probably I tend to think that we will probably cover that something like this, or at least 70% of the previous rise. So we'll see about that. But also talking about the altcoins, I would say that I think it's even more risky at the moment than usual to trade them, because the volatility is having those weird spikes, which are like this, but not on this particular altcoin, but some different ones. In any case, it is easy to get stopped out, to get liquidated, so be careful with that. I think BTC is more reliable at the moment, more reasonable to trade. Okay, I would like to also show the situation with SOPR on BTC. You remember that point when we were talking that, okay, if the price goes up and the indicator will go to the area of 1, to level of 1, that might be the end of the rise. So here, instead of ending the rise, we actually broke that level. So there are two possible scenarios about that, regarding that. It is either a area of the market, the time of the market when it is uncertainty, it is uncertain and we don't know what's happening. Either it is a bull market or a bear market. And the thing is, until it is broken below 1, or until the indicator stops at the level of 1 and goes up, we cannot decide which is which. However, when it happens, there will be a signal. What I would like to point out here, though, is that we do see the lower point on the indicator, but we see the higher point in the price. This is also kind of a divergence, which is not so great. I would prefer the indicator going up as well. But what is important is to look when the indicator touches the level of 1. If we break it down to the downside, then likely that the correction to the downside is about to happen, and a deep one. If not, if we see the pullback to the upside, then probably we'll go to $55,000 or something like that, something around that area. Yes, so that is pretty much it for the current situation. So I hope that it's pretty much clear about what to do and what to expect. Nothing hard right now. A little bit sad that the area, the time of green for all over the place is over, but you know, you can't get everything and forever. So we still can get some profits even on the bear market. So just let's be careful about our trades. So let me go back to the chat and see if anyone is there. Okay, Rico Overmars. Hello. Big day. Yes, today is a big day. So I don't see any questions, so probably that is it for today. I hope that the update was useful. Now I'm back, so I probably will be able to make it next week, hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. And as usual on Twitter and Telegram, there will be more. Sander X, hello. My pleasure. So I'm happy that it is useful, and if it is useful. So see you guys next week. Feel free to send me a message on Telegram or Twitter. We will discuss what's happening. And as always, trade safe and see you next time. Goodbye.